Wow, wow, wow. What an episode, guys. Super Saiyan 4 is now canon. Now, this is an interesting case because we finally got what we wanted, but not everybody is happy with the final result. We'll talk about that, but first, before we get to the Super Saiyan 4 Daima Goku, which is not officially Super Saiyan 4, but come on, it's Super Saiyan 4. We're going to go ahead and get into the episode overall. So first of all, I really like this moment with Gomah. He says more of that funny magic whenever Goku is, of course, transforming and doing his whole thing. But, he gets demolished by Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Not entirely, though, because Gomah does come back. But if you look here, this is exactly, I'm pretty sure, a reference to the Super Saiyan Goku versus Frieza fight. So I thought this was pretty enjoyable. And then I like this moment with Ku and Do. They're such enjoyable, fun characters. I really hope we at least get Do playable with Ku as not like, how in Smash Bros. You have assist trophies. So basically Ku could function like that as a playable version of Majin Do. So like maybe you could have a skill that summons Ku for just a moment. But this is so cool. He just, Ku's one of many talents is quickly going to the convenience store and back. So he somehow acquires a gigantic cookie and throws it to Do. And he says, Do, you can power up too. And then there we go. We get Do copying Super Saiyan 3 Goku. So I guess that's a cool thing that they can have in the Dragon Ball games with Do if he's playable is devour a cookie and then gets a momentary power up. And it is momentary because pretty much he immediately powers down after putting up, not a great fight against Gomah, but a decent fight. He's I think the cookie wore off. So yeah, just a great moment for Do. I really like how this episode was structured. We got a nice little bit of comedy before we got into the really action-heavy stuff. So basically, Gomah's going crazy with his laser magic stuff and basically blasts Goku away and then stomps on Goku. Goku is not feeling good. And even Piccolo says we can't stop him in our current condition. So our heroes, it's not looking good for them. And then Gomah powers up this really cool looking energy ball thing. It's not exactly ki, it's some sort of magic. And then Neva comes in clutch with some sort of magical ability. Now, when I was watching this, I was on the edge of my seat. I kind of expected this to be Super Saiyan 4 Goku, but whenever Neva was doing this, I was like, what if it's not Super Saiyan 4 Goku? What is he doing? We get a pretty cool, well-animated transformation sequence that honestly looks really fiery. We get some red and blues there. And then Gomah launches attack, but, Super Saiyan 4 Goku, who I'm just going to call Super Saiyan 4 Goku until we get an official name, because I'm not sure if it's supposed to be Super Saiyan 4 Goku. They'll probably call it something like Super Saiyan Demon Goku. There's no official name yet. But until then, it's Super Saiyan 4 Goku. To me, at least. And he looks pretty cool. We actually get a lot of really good shots of him, so I don't know if this will be the only time we see him in the show, but if it is, we got some really cool shots. Now, I know this has got to be a Toriyama design, specifically, just because of, the rounded edges and stuff, but I really like how he gave him some, gorilla-like anatomy, how thick his arms are through here, it just, very monkey-like, very inspired. And I know, this, the whole Dragon Ball story is based off Journey to the West with Sun Wukong. So, this is very interesting stuff here. I really do enjoy it. Very monkey-like. I feel like it's fitting for, this to be Toriyama's final Dragon Ball project. Reportedly, we're not sure yet if he was involved with any more Super stuff, but if this is Toriyama's final Dragon Ball project, and he kind of ended things off with giving us his own version of Monkey Goku, that's very cool. I really like that. And he looks cool. I do like him. Some people, though, don't like him. It's actually not as simple as you would think. There's people complaining about his arms being a little bit too human through here, why didn't they just bring the fur down? There's people complaining that we got Super Saiyan 4 Goku, but he's small instead of regular sized. And then there's also people complaining that his hair is red instead of black. I guess you can't please anybody, but I at least wanted to mention that as well. And then, of course, Piccolo senses the ki. He says, what a powerful ki. So we know this is a magic-induced transformation from Neva. And it does not have anything to do with God Ki because Piccolo is able to sense it. And I really like this view here of Goku just looking at his hands and being amazed by the power. And I like this aura around him, you know, like a thin layer of silver or something like that. I like how this is, in effect, done better than how they do Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan Blue and Super. Because I feel like in Super, the new transformations have way too much animation stuff going on with them. And this is just a little bit more clean and simple. And they bring the tail back. Now, there's no explanation for why this transformation brings the tail back. I'm assuming Neva's doing some sort of demon magic and awakening some sort of primal roots within the Saiyan DNA, because we actually saw a shot of Goku's DNA. So maybe that's it. I'm not sure. Maybe we'll get an explanation about it within the next couple of episodes. But for now, I'm just glad to see it. And yeah, the animation in this episode was really crazy. It popped off ginormously, tremendously. And it was really well animated. I really like this shot here of Goku basically stopping Gomah with one hand, you know. Goku is really cool in this. I like this sequence whenever Gomah's blasting away and Goku's like running along the wall of like the mountain or the building or whatever this stuff is that Gomah's constructed. And we even get a short sequence of Goku running along one of the rocks like a ape, basically, like a monkey, you know, on all fours, very primal. It was pretty cool, and I think this is why they decided to keep Goku a kid in this transformation, because as an adult this could work, but for some reason, being really short as a kid, he just has more of that gorilla-like anatomy to where this actually looks even better, surprisingly. So I really like that. And then, of course, he does like some sort of Sonic the Hedgehog thing where he spins around and launches an energy attack. Very cool stuff, though. And again, I just love, like, for some reason, they were aura farming this whole episode with Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Like, he just looks so cool in every single frame that he's in. Now, like I said, some people aren't into it. And, you know, if you're not into it, that's cool. You do you. But they won me over with this easily. It wasn't really much of a contest. And then things are looking tough. Everybody else has to gang up on, you know, Gomah. And Glorio here specifically with his lightning. He's doing everything he can. But, yeah, it's pretty cool. Everybody's, like, teaming up against Gomah again. Even Super Saiyan 4 Daima Goku. And I like this because they have like some sort of red and blue thing real quick. I don't know why exactly they did it for their creative reasons, but it was really cool. I mean, this is like wallpaper worthy stuff right here. And then, of course, Glorio and Piccolo try their best against Gomah, but it doesn't work out. And they get beat, and, you know, things aren't looking good for Goku either. He actually gets attacked whenever he's trying to charge up a Kamehameha, but he gets it off anyway because he's that cool. And it's like an upside-down Kamehameha. I don't know how they're going to do that whenever they adapt it to the games, but it's a really cool episode. And we get giant Gomah. Goku's like, seriously? I feel like he's talking for the audience, because just when you think Gomah's down, he comes back. And this really does support the RPG rumors that we heard about this being like an RPG, because Gomah is the final boss. And every time you think you're done with the final boss in a JRPG, he transforms again. Goku is just basically taken aback. He's surprised. He's like, seriously? He has no idea what's going on. I really like this scene here. Just really cool. Really shows how powerful and, you know, just overwhelming Gomah is. And the Tertian Oculus is so cool. He can just make Goku go back in his transformations. So I don't know if they're trying to imply that this is the next step in the Super Saiyan evolution, because he goes from this Super Saiyan 4 thing to Super Saiyan 3. I don't know. Maybe that's what they're saying. I guess we'll wait to see. It's also possible that it's just like going backwards in terms of his powerful forms, and it's not necessarily the next in line. But, I mean, if he's going from like this strange Super Saiyan 4 clone form to like Super Saiyan 3, this could be the canon version of Super Saiyan 4. Super Saiyan 4, and honestly, I would like that. I mean, it looks amazing. I like it. I mean, like I said, me personally, I could also do without this, but it's not like a deal breaker for me. And then, you know, Dr. Iron Su's making her moves. She's like, Glorio, bring your Dragon Balls here to me. And then, meanwhile, Goku gets transformed back to normal. And then, you know, Dr. Iron Su's like, Glorio, we can make the wish. I'm going to become powerful and defeat Gomah. She says that's why I had you learn the Namekian language. Now I know what a lot of you are thinking. You're thinking, plot hole, plot hole. Why did they bring Glorio Why did they bring Neva if they had Glorio who could learn who knew the Namekian language? Why didn't he say anything? Well, I think the answer is obvious, but I'm just telling you guys, for those of you that didn't know, Glorio was working with Dr. Arinsu, so it's not a plot hole, because in this scene way back then, Piccolo says he's lived on Earth too long, he doesn't know Namekian, and it specifically shows Gomah. They specifically zoomed in on Gomah's face. So yeah, they were basically establishing it from way back then. And this is what I love about Dragon Ball Daima. We could have, taken out some of those other episodes that were a bit slow, but they each had important moments where you actually grew to like Glorio, and you grew to understand him developing a feeling of friendliness toward his new party members, you could say. And he finds himself conflicted internally. He's like, I was working with Dr. Arinsu this whole time, but he's not sure about that now because he's grown to be friends. And this was a theory that I had. Like, Glorio obviously is working for the bad guys, but what if he has a change of heart? I mean, it's not anything new for Dragon Ball, but it does seem like that's the way they're going. And then we get our look at the Demon Realm Dragon. He looks really cool. I think they basically just call him like, I forgot who it was, but one of them were talking about, oh, he looks just like Porunga. So yeah, this is basically Red Porunga, and it's very Dragon Ball GT inspired, because of course the dragon in GT from the Black Star Dragon Balls is also a red dragon. This one's of course more of a Porunga than a Shinron, but it's really cool. They got some really cool shots of him in this freaking show, dude. It looks amazing. I love it. Porunga in this anime looks amazing. Well, Red Porunga, I should say. And then they're like, Glorio, that traitor. So yeah, Pansy's not a fan of Glorio. Vegeta's not. Because, they see Glorio across the battlefield, and he's got the Dragon Balls, and he's with Dr. Arinsu. So it definitely looks bad for Glorio. And this dragon is apparently so powerful, he's able to block Gomah. And this is Gomah that's like overpowering Goku in his Super Saiyan 4 form. I say Goku in his Super Saiyan 4. Basically, anytime I'm saying Goku Super Saiyan 4, I'm not talking about literally Super Saiyan 4 from GT, but whatever this new transformation was, we still don't have a name for it. But yeah, the dragon's able to easily block Gomah. And then Glorio makes his wish. Now, what did I think about this episode? Well, if you look here at the very last scene, there's some sort of like aura radiating out. So I believe the dragon is probably undoing the wish that was previously made by Gomah. Because if you look here, Glorio makes the wish after we are shown that he's having some internal conflict. And we see this aura radiate, and I feel like they're trying to make you think before it cuts off that the dragon's disappearing, but he's not, because in the preview for the next episode we see Dr. Arinsu looking like she's making a wish or something. I'm not sure if this is her making a wish, but we also see the Dragon Balls disappear and the dragon still being there. So before we get into speculation for the next episode, which kind of immediately follows upon this, so I need to finish my thought once we get into the speculation, but I will give this episode a solid 9 out of 10. It was amazing. I really enjoyed it. I think this is going to be like a fan favorite episode. People are going to be like, oh, you don't even have to watch the first 17 episodes of Daima, just skip to episode 18. I'm assuming we'll hear things like that, but no. Like, this whole thing only feels this good because you have stuck with Dragon Ball Daima through every episode. You've seen Glorio in every episode. You've seen Vegeta in every episode. You've seen Supreme Kai feeling a little, weary of Glorio. You've seen Dr. Arinsu, Ku, and Do. Like, it's all working in a very cohesive manner. So I really enjoyed this episode. Now, talking about the next episode and how this episode works into the next episode. This is probably Dr. Arinsu raising her hands up like she's about to feel the power flow into her and she's going to be like super powerful. But I don't think that's the case. I think the obvious thing is that Glorio probably wished to have the heroes turn back into adults. So she's going to be surprised basically right after this scene. And then the Dragon Balls are going to disappear with the dragon. And then we get this other look at this dragon. So I'm assuming this sequentially will be before this, unless Neva just summons the Dragon Balls again to make another wish. But I don't think they would need to do that, really. So this is probably the dragon saying, your wish has been granted, farewell. And Dr. Arinsu is probably going to be like, huh? And then she's going to turn around and all of our heroes are going to be adults again. But this does bring up another question, because Super Saiyan 4 Goku in this version of Dragon Ball looks amazing, but we didn't get to see him as an adult. If you guys remember in Dragon Ball GT, one of the things that people loved about GT Super Saiyan 4, which is the original Super Saiyan 4 of course, is that it made Goku an adult while he was transformed. In this case, it doesn't, and I guess that makes more sense this way. I never really understood why Goku specifically turned back into an adult whenever he turned Super Saiyan 4 in Dragon Ball GT, other than that the animators knew that people wanted Goku to be an adult, so they basically had a form to where he would turn into an adult, you know? But in this case, he's a kid, and it kind of makes more sense when you think about it. So this is obviously, again, a magic-induced transformation, meaning that they could turn into adults in the next episode and never could do this same thing again. But at a certain point, that might still be too repetitive. Now, we also still do have the fusion bugs to think about, so we could still be seeing a new fusion character in the coming episodes. Anyways, guys, that will be it for this episode. I really enjoyed this episode. I think it goes without saying a lot of people enjoyed this episode. And again, some people not really big fans of it. Some people are crying, fan service, it doesn't look good. You don't know Dragon Ball Daima. I think some guy literally said Dragon Ball Daima is an insult to Toriyama's legacy. Like, Toriyama worked on this show. I don't think you understand what you're talking about. But yeah, guys, that will be it for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe to keep up to date with all things Dragon Ball news and commentary. And I will see you in the next one. Peace off.